Welcome to Damn Good Marketing Podcast, where we ditch the fluff, cut the BS, and get real about what actually takes to market your business like a freaking pro. I'm your host, Shelby Claymall, Louisiana native, two-time boy mom, and the founder of Shelby Claymall Marketing, a social media agency built for small-town entrepreneurs with big-ass dreams. I left corporate, where I was underpaid and underestimated, built a multi-six-figure business from the ground up, launched a sold-out marketing event, and created this podcast to give you the truth behind growing a brand online without losing your mind or your values. This is for the ones who are tired of spinning their wheels, ready to show the hell up, and finally market with confidence, clarity, and consistency. So if you're ready to grow, get bold, and to build a brand that actually turns heads and opens doors, let's do the damn thing. Oh my gosh, guys, I have Tori Bolt here. I met her in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We were both speaking at an event, and I truly had no idea that this woman, who she was, or the genius that she was. I was literally just complimenting her romper because it had little bolts on it. Like, I didn't even know your last name was Bolt. That's like how out of touch I was. And then she gets in front of everybody, and I'm like, holy cannoli. Like, she's authentic, she's real, she's vulnerable, she tells her story. And now they are the founders, owners of Bolt Farm Treehouse, and I am obsessed. Like, I think John and I are going to come in January for our honeymoon. Wow, we didn't just get married. Our anniversary.
Forever honeymoon.
Our 8th honeymoon. It's fine. But thank you so much for being here. I know you're a busy woman, but like, I'm so excited to interview you and just have like a great conversation.
Same. I've been really looking forward to this, and I'm excited to dig in.
Yay. Okay, can you tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, guys.
Yeah. So my husband and I own and run a luxury treehouse resort called Bolt Farm Treehouse. It's on a 55-acre mountaintop outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and people come for romantic bucket list getaways. Earlier this year, we opened up our spa and a multi-acre wellness haven. It's insane, you guys. Like, I mean, if I'm being honest, the whole reason we did that was for selfish reasons so that I could have a spa in my life. But Forbes just featured it and called it one of the coolest new spas in the South. It's unreal. And so we design magical experiences that truly help you reconnect and leave you transformed. Like, we don't want to just be a place to stay. Like, we are where you come to truly reconnect with nature, your person, and even yourself and your purpose.
I just love that. I don't find that there's like many places. Y'all, the pictures don't do it justice. I've never seen it in real life, but like, I'm telling you, the pictures already take my breath away. Okay, but what I want you to do is kind of set the tone for everybody that's listening or that's watching us right now, and tell them like, it wasn't always glitz and glam. Like, you weren't always in Forbes. Like, can you bring us back to kind of where this journey started, how you were kind of in shock when Seth was like, I want to do this? Or I think he built one for you for your wedding. I guess you tell your story and then.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll get into our story, but I love what you said. It hasn't always been glitz and glam.
Yeah.
But what I would even add to that is it is still not glitz and glam. Like, running a business means you are signing up to do hard things and solve really hard problems. And it's so funny, like, we are having amazing momentum, wonderful wins, and are still in the mud of running a business. I'm like, why am I scanning the mail? This is crazy. You know what I mean? But then it's like, oh, look, we just like, this actually just came in the mail today. Like, we made the Inc. 5000 list, which is like a bucket list thing we've been working towards for 10 years, you know? So it's like, if your experience running a business or doing something creative is anything like mine, you will have wonderful wins and still be like, we suck at the same time. And I think that's totally normal. It's the process, because you're leveling up in the process. And so the problems that you're solving today might be way bigger than they were 3 years ago, but you're constantly like, you're leveling up and you're solving bigger problems. And so anyways, I don't think if there ever is a day that is just all glitz and glam and it's not hard and it's super easy, I don't think you've tapped into your full potential yet. I think you need to dig deeper and push for more. Yeah. Okay, all that to say, but going back to the beginning, about 10 years ago, Seth and his dad built a treehouse by hand for our wedding day. They built it on the farm where Seth grew up in South Carolina. And they had started building it. He met me in the process, and inspired by love, he's like, I'm going to level this treehouse up to make it romantic and beautiful. And maybe I can convince Tori to honeymoon here. Which is a big challenge, you know, for this girl who was born and raised in California, was dreaming of my overseas honeymoon.
This just makes your story funnier for me. I'm sorry.
I know, right? It's hilarious. And so he did it. Like, he did a wonderful job. The treehouse was absolutely beautiful. And what's really cool about I think our business and our story is it was inspired by love and from a problem that we saw and experienced firsthand, which is the world is so crazy and loud and noisy and
Mm,
distracting. And people need environments to help you really like get present and get clear. And that's what the Treehouse did for us. Seth he actually just retired a few months ago, but for 23 years, he's been part of the band Need to Breathe. So he was spending a lot of his time touring cities, traveling the world.
yeah.
I was working in news, and we're like, man, our schedule is it's just not sustainable. Like, what is life going to look like? We did not know the answer to that question
Right.
on our honeymoon. And the days we spent in the treehouse, journaling, praying, talking, dreaming, gave us that clarity that, oh my God, it's this. More people need this. So let's just make
Yeah.
this available to as many people and couples that we can. So soon after that, quit my job, sold our house, did the thing, and like doubled down, actually quadrupled down. We bought 35 acres outside of on an island outside of Charleston, where we
Hmm.
built more. And I'm skipping here a little bit for speed, but I
Yeah.
mean, I will say what's kind of wild about our story. It truly is, as cliche as it is, the 10-year overnight success. We had immediate success right after our honeymoon, put it on Airbnb, 6-month wait list. BuzzFeed was big at the time and they called it the best Airbnb in the state. And it just kind of like popped off. And we're like, man, this is awesome. It's working. Then we bought more land in Charleston and that was really hard. Like that was the slumps. We still had a great product. Unfortunately, it was just in the wrong place. Like we were just so busy building. We had no idea that there were all these political conversations going on,
Yeah.
and they adopted anti-Airbnb regs right as we were finishing. So instead of getting to like run our business after working so freaking hard to build it, we had to fight for it. And so that
Yeah.
was like curveball we did not see coming. Ultimately, like we failed. We had to sell that property, but it wasn't a failure, like that was our training camp. We learned so many valuable lessons,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful that we learned them then and not now while we're
Mhm.
doing things at a bigger scale. But we literally started over, like $0 in revenue for 11 months of 2020, bought raw land in Tennessee, moved in with my parents, lived in a tent, then a camper, started over. Like the only thing that we still had were our loyal followers, and fan
Yeah.
like from the early days. But
Yeah.
that was it. And so we rebuilt from the ground up in Tennessee in 2020, and we opened 10 villas. We built them in 6 months, and since then it's just been incredible. We've been growing ever since. We just finished our fourth phase of construction. We now have 29 villas, the spa, all the things, and we're not stopping. So
Wow. Wait, okay, so I have a million questions, but I have
yeah.
one in particular of I remember you telling us like when you did go back to Tennessee, right? Y'all started selling these villas before they were even built. Can you tell us the mindset in that moment because you're just now becoming overcoming failure of saying like you can't do this, our dream was there, it was going to sell out, it was going to do great, and then the locals were like no, actually you're not. So then you were like holy crap, like you're already beaten down. So like, can you kind of lean into like what that like your mindset was or the thought process was to be like, no, we need to start selling it now before it's even built? And like how big in faith you had to be in that moment to say, we're leaping because this is all we got.
It's crazy. You just share like recapping that still gives me chills,
Yeah.
still puts my stomach in knots because it was so scary. It is scary to bet on yourself, but it's required. Oftentimes, if you're going to take that big leap or your back's up against a wall and you need to fight for your life, your business's life, you have to do what's necessary. And for us, taking that huge risk and betting on ourselves was. Now, I'll say Seth and I, we're married and business partners, and he has a way higher risk tolerance than I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a fraidy cat. I'm working on it. But he's just like so incredibly confident. And his belief was actually contagious to me. It's like I got borrowed belief. And so, like, if you're listening to this, let this be the borrowed belief that you can take, from me to your venture. But we just, yeah, I mean, so like you said, we had nothing to sell in Charleston, 11 months with no revenue, still had a team, still had expenses, found this property, but it was 2020. So like lenders were not like
Yeah.
selling to giving loans to hospitality businesses. And we had just failed. So it was taking a really, really long time. And we needed revenue to survive. And we also needed to convince the bank, like, hey, this is a good thing. People want this. And so we just, we did, we have so much conviction and belief in our purpose I mean, if we didn't, we probably wouldn't have started over. We probably would have
Yeah.
done something easier, like sold t-shirts, or something. But
Yeah.
we were like, this is a good thing. We have to fight for this dream. When you have a dream, you have to protect it and fight for it. And so we would just go out there on the property every day, showing up on social, showing people the view, telling them our heart, telling them what we were going to build. We've spent like $500 on renderings, just like hired somebody on Fiverr to
Yeah.
mock up what we had designed, and she did a great job. And so we showed those. We made like a little homemade website on Shopify. Like literally Seth,
Love it.
me, and a friend who's like a web developer did it. Like we were pulling all these all-nighters just to get something up. And we were like, you know what? Black Friday's approaching. There's so much uncertainty in the world, but like I think people will be spending money between Black Friday and Christmas. So like this is the time to get
Right.
going. And
Yeah.
so we were like, good grief, if we could sell $500,000 in reservations, that would be incredible. And so that was our goal. And we were shocked. We sold $1 million.
Shut
$1
up.
million in reservations and did not own the land. Now, if you're listening to this, I know that's crazy and I don't recommend it, but like we were in a situation where we had to. And I'm really proud that we, as soon as we closed, like that did give the lenders the confidence. We closed soon after and got right to work and delivered on that promise. We had so much, like just the weight of the responsibility on that, because we were like, wow, so many people like believed in us. Like we've got to come through, and we did, but it made construction really, really stressful.
Yeah. But I think that it's like, it shows true testament to like who you and Seth are, that truly it's like in that moment, it's like, okay, we can sink or we can swim or we can go do something else that's safe. And y'all chose to take that risk. Y'all chose to walk in your actual purpose and trust the entire process, that this is what you're supposed to be doing, and that you wanted to give these couples and these humans such a sacred place. And I just feel like now more than ever, truly, Tori, that it's so sacred that people need that. And especially like husbands and wives. Like John told me last night, he like hugged me and he's like, I miss you, because our lives are so chaotic. Like I'm building a business. He works. Like we have 2 very small kids that are like running around. So like to just have such a place like that. I texted him before I interviewed you. I was telling him, I was like, I'm interviewing her today. I'm so cool. I'm so excited. I was like, but we're going here in January because like we need it. And that's just, so thank you for believing in yourself and believing in your husband enough for his risk taking. Obviously like you were a little reserved, but like y'all did it and you took that chance. Can you kind of go in a little bit more on like the importance of bringing like your following and your community and your potential consumer along on the journey, even though it's messy, like it's so messy, but like why that's so important when you're building a brand and a business?
It is. I think things have really, really shifted. If you rewind a few years ago, people wanted, like, Instagram was a highlight reel. You wanted everything to look perfect and polished. But now there's so much of that. And with AI, like, people don't know what's real. And I think if you can build trust, that is like the gold. I don't know. That's the golden ticket. And how you build trust is through consistency in showing up, and then authenticity. And so like right now, I feel like I'm seeing more and more founders build in public. They're bringing you into the mess. They're talking about what's hard in real time, because people can see it and relate. Like people might be impressed by your accomplishments, but they connect with your struggles. And it's like the opposite of what's natural, but it is so, so critical. And so we did that, also paired with the belief that people follow and want to support people, not businesses. Like if you're an Airbnb host and you're like, I don't want to be on social, I'm just going to post about my house, like no one's going to really care or connect. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God,
you'll
can
do
you say that again? Holy crap. Like what?
No one's going to care. You'll be the convenience buy. They're only going to stay at your place because you're cheap enough or that you're available. You know what I mean? But like but we're a bucket list place. And I'm saying this not to brag, but to paint the story for those who've never heard of us. Like we're located in Whitwell, Tennessee, y'all. Okay, that's 45 minutes outside of Chattanooga, but the population of Whitwell is 1,500 people. It's a beautiful old coal mining town, but like it is not a place people are just going. We are a destination. And it's really hard to do that, but it makes you so much more powerful, meaningful. It allows you to, I don't know, just really have that connection. Like we have people flying from across the country to come here, which is crazy. But they do that because, yes, what's in it for them, the outcome that's going to happen. And I think they're really invested in us. And like we've brought them into the years and years, because there are so many years. And I'll tell you any funny story you want to hear about the struggle, because we've lived them all. But like they're rooting for us. I really feel that and believe that, you know, and I've been on the other side of that. Like I remember, you know, years ago, Chip and Joanna Gaines, they're building their thing and you're just like, I want you to win. Thank you for bringing me
Yeah.
into this. And you're just like, I feel like invested in you. And I think people feel that with us. And we've come a long way because it's really hard to just show the mess. But when we were building back in 2020, um, we captured everything on my phone and on Seth's drone with no idea what we were going to do with it. We are like, you know, if nothing else, we'll show our future kids one day and they'll see how hard
Yeah.
we worked. Well, we ended up just hiring an editor to put it together. And we're like, this is kind of entertaining. Like, this is crazy. So
Yes.
we did it. We created a 6-episode series called Building Bolt Mountain. And then we did nothing for 4 years because we were embarrassed. We were like, this doesn't really inspire confidence. It doesn't scream luxury. Like you see us living in a camper, like pooping in a porta john. Like it's the whole, like
You
this
just
is
skipped right
not,
past that.
just said it. And so we just sat on it for years. And then a friend of ours was like, guys, this is awesome. People need to see this. Your team needs to see this. Like they need to
Yes.
know. And we're like, you know what? Okay. I think it's a good time. Now it feels like a throwback. It's like a little nostalgic. I feel like, but my encouragement would be like, just be brave and just post it now. But we finally posted it. So it's actually out on YouTube and we've gotten just so much great feedback from guests who have stayed with us multiple times. And when they see how much you care, like it makes them care more too. And
Yes.
that's the goal.
It's actually like just letting them feel seen and heard, and like you had them in the forefront of your mind the entire time, even though it was something for you and Seth to create because you loved it, but you were like, more people need to see this. And so kudos to you for one, capturing the content, and then two, actually being brave enough for you to put it out there because they can see you now. They can see the Forbes, they can see your awards that you're winning, they can see you with all of these A-list celebrities and be like, wow, you know, like she feels untouchable because I can't relate to her. But in reality,
Mm-hmm.
you having the content of what it was like to struggle and to be shut down before you could even open. And like you could literally have crumbled, but yet you were like, no, I'm going to stand tall on my truth and I'm going to keep doing this. That is what makes
Mm-hmm.
you relatable. And so many people get in their own heads about that, especially right now, because you hit the nail on the head perfectly a while ago. Like Instagram is a highlight reel. And especially what I do for a living, people tell me all the time, like, Shelby, I'm scared to show the real raw vulnerability. I'm scared of what Sally from high school is going to think. I'm scared if I fail. I'm scared if people are going to judge me. Like, who cares? Like, do you stand for something greater than the opinions of others or failure of what could happen? Because truly you learn, you like, obviously it was a faster version of the story that I know, but like you learn from what happened in Georgia, like them saying like, was it Georgia, right?
South Carolina.
South
Yeah.
Carolina. Sorry.
Yeah.
South Carolina, of like all the restrictions and the property restrictions that you knew when you went into Tennessee. You were like, okay, wait, I'm meeting with you. I want to know that you're not going to shut me down because of this. So like that failure literally led you to this success. And honestly, if you look back at it, you weren't meant to be there. Like that was not y'all's path. And so this is your path. And so like in the hard, I just feel like it's so hard to understand and like in the trenches, but when you get to the other side of it, you're like, okay, this is a beautiful story that was meant
Yes.
for us.
Yes. Steve Jobs says that the dots only connect backwards.
Yeah.
And you know what that means is like when you're going through it, it doesn't all make sense. But later when you make it to the other side, you look back. And that's so true. We would have, if all went well in South Carolina, we would have been capped at, I want to say 8 tree houses total on that property. And so we would have spent years, you know, working through all the politics, building that and having a
Yes.
low ceiling. Instead, we went through hell, like literal hell, and learned a lot, got tougher, like solidified our belief in the mission, started over, have built so much more. And
Triple.
what's really cool is like, yeah, and now we're also doing these workshops and we have a mastermind so that we can come
Yes.
alongside people in hospitality who want to do something great and meaningful and scale their business. And we're mentoring them. And like we would have no credibility if we didn't go through that. Like that
Yes.
was our testimony. So when you're going through something hard, I know it is not the natural thing to think or feel, but be like, this is going to be a good thing. This is part of my story. This is going to help one other person. This is going to help me know what to navigate in the future and look at it like a blessing. And trust me, I know it's probably so ick when you're in it. You know, I did not feel like it was a blessing when we had the angry mob on Facebook, like calling us names, spying on us with drones, bashing in our mailbox. It did not feel like a good
Stop.
thing, but like, no,
Yeah.
I swear it was crazy. But looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it now. We're able to help so
Yeah.
many people avoid those years of pain and just fast track the success. Like
Yeah.
people say there's no shortcut to success. And I do, but there's no magic pill. It's hard work, right? But I do think that mentorship is a
Yes.
shortcut to success, right? Because that can compress time for you and help you avoid the potholes that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Want to know what's really happening in our city? Inside New Orleans Magazine is your exclusive look into the people, places, and culture that make this city iconic. This bi-monthly print and digital magazine brings you stories that celebrate local art, style, cuisine, and community. New Orleans Elevated. It's not just a read, it's a lifestyle. So grab your copy or subscribe to InsideNewOrleansMagazine.com and experience the city from the inside out. Yeah. And that actually kind of goes really well in my next question to you is like the importance of investing in your business. I know you work with the Hormozis or Alex specifically. I'm not sure if you work with both or just one, but let's talk a little bit and like pour into us a little bit about the importance of investing in your business and having when you invest, understanding how to choose the right mentor or the right rooms or the right people to invest in versus just buying everything that's available.
Man, this could be a whole day session because I'm really fired up about it because I get a little annoyed and protective of people because everybody's a coach now.
Yes.
Everybody's an expert. Everyone's a CEO on LinkedIn. It's like, oh, what have you done though? Like, what have you done? So, okay, a couple things, and you'll have to keep me on track if I miss anything.
No, I can't wait. Just give it everything. We're good.
But investing in yourself and in your business is the best investment that you can make. I promise you. Seth and I both grew up poor. Like we didn't have, extra money. We looked at mentorship like a nice to have until we lived it, until we lost 7 figures in mistakes. And I remember the first time he joined a mastermind group, his brother had invited him. The first event was free, but then it was like $4,000 a month after that. And Seth called me because he's like, we've never spent this kind of money, but like, I think they're the right people in this room who can unlock things for us. And I was like, okay, I trust you. Let's try it. Let's try it. And also like now I get a free pass to buy whatever kind of shoes I want. No, so
I'm kidding.
But we did it. And literally like, I remember within a month, like one of the mentors, he saved us from going down this path that we're going to try like a new revenue, like a new offering.
Yeah.
And it would have been a distraction. And so he saved us a world of pain, $70,000 that we were going to invest just by asking the right person, the right question. And now we can't spend enough on it. Like we're trying to work with the best of the best. We invest 6 figures into our mentorship and it is still giving a huge return. Like it is just so well worth it because again, it compresses time for you. Now, in turn, you asked about like how to choose the right mentor and how do you know who's right for you? For me, like now we have multiple because like there's no perfect unicorn. So there's different people who kind of speak to different areas of our lives. Like we're part of one of John Maxwell's communities and that's really helpful for like leadership and faith and family. But then we, work with the Hormozis for like just business, marketing, et cetera, because they're just savages and that killers, and so now we're kind of well-rounded. We're like, hey, you're our mentor for this. You're our mentor for that. I believe that like niching down is a really good thing. They say like, from your business perspective, like the riches are in the niches. If you just sell to everyone, you sell to no one.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at the mentorship I receive too. Like I want to get specific. I want somebody in luxury hospitality who has done what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I am not going to pay anyone to be a mentor if they haven't done, if I'm ahead of them, like what have they done? So the proof is in the fruit. Like, what have you done? Asking for referrals is always super helpful. Like, look at who they work with and what have those people done. And so I also like, I don't know, maybe this is a little bit more a personal preference, but like when somebody is actually building a business or doing their thing, or maybe they've done a business, they've sold it and now they mentor, like I just give that so much more weight than like your main thing is coaching and mentorship. Cause it's like, okay, I kind of, I don't know, it's just a little bit different to me. So if you have the luxury of having multiple, get specific for people in different areas of your life. If you have never invested in mentorship, start with someone that you're aligned with. And our little like litmus test is we say, would I trade places with them?
Yes.
In this area, right? If this person is my business mentor, is their business better than mine? If not, you're not going to teach me,
That's a good way to put it though, too, because it's so saturated, this marketing, you never really know because they can tell you or show you or whatever, anything. But that's really well to do it. I mean, because I always tell people this, like, you can't let
other people's opinions bother you of what you're doing or what you're chasing, because if you do, just ask yourself, would you trade places with them? Like their whole entire life, their husband, their kids, their job, their everything. And if that's a no, then they should not have an opinion. Like they should not affect whether you do something or go after your dreams or not. So like I think that that's actually a really good way to put that as well, because it's true. Like I'm not paying you to get me to the next level if you've never even been to the dang next level that I'm going to. That
Yeah.
makes no sense. Anyway, keep going. This is
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
learning. I'm learning, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that was the mental shift for us. It went from, I can't afford this. This is a luxury, to like, I can't afford not to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Truly. And one of the groups that we were part of actually was someone who was like, "Hey, don't chase this thing. What if you did this instead?" And that's a seven-figure revenue stream for our business. And it's like wonderful. And also just having people that can come alongside you in community and understand what you're going through, because let's face it, as an entrepreneur, like it feels very lonely sometimes. Maybe your
Yes.
friends or family, they can't relate. Like, why do you work 80 hours a week? Why is this, why, doesn't make sense. But I know I felt it. Like I've been to events with people in my space, and I'm like, I feel so known, because like you get exactly what I'm going through and have been there. And that's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing. And that makes me really happy. Like at the last workshop we hosted, we had like a few people say that. They're like, I don't feel like the weird one for the
Yeah.
first time. Like I just feel like it's really nice to have community. And for us, like sometimes that means virtual community, people who
Yeah.
we're not gonna have all of our best friends in Whitwell, but like can
Yeah.
we gather people that we can share our wins with? No, we won't get judged. We can share what we're struggling with, where we need help, prayer. And it's just been such a game changer. So
That's wild. I tell it's I when I started my business, I was making way more than obviously I made in corporate because you're capped or whatever. And so, but I wanted to like it was like scarcity. So I was like, oh my God, what if like I spend it and I don't make it back? Or like I was too nervous. But the moment I invested in my first mentorship was $25,000, I almost vomited. But literally the return the next year, I was like, I can't afford not to
right.
do this. And so I think that it's so true because it is, I hear people say it all the time. They're like, Shelby, I'm like, they love pouring into people, but they also are ready to be poured into. And I'm like, well, then you have to get into those rooms that scare you. You have to get into the rooms that are with people that are literally as crazy as you are, because that's what people call us. We're crazy because we're dreamers and we see this and this is our purpose and we're living it out. And so I think it's such a game changer of all of that. How do you balance everything, like being like your marriage, motherhood, faith, business, because like you are building a business. You now have a massive business with I'm assuming a lot of employees, clearly. And so your energy, I mean, y'all were just on an island like yesterday. You know what I mean? Like whatever or wherever you were. I knew y'all went somewhere, but I don't know exactly where you went, but you went somewhere, right? And so like but like your baby wasn't with you. Like how like there's so many things, because I get asked this all the time. Like, Shelby, how are you managing everything? But it's just like different for everyone. So like at your
Mhm.
level and how you've grown from, being next to Seth and Need to Breathe, and like what you may or may have heard in that situation and transitioning, because you are powerful in working and showing up. So can you kind of pour into us in that regards of balancing it all and the journey of Tori and getting here as a woman?
Yeah, great question. And here's maybe a bit of a spicy take, because I think that balance is a total myth. I think it's BS. And if you're chasing balance, you're just going to be disappointed and feel like a failure. Because when I hear the word balance, I think of a balance, a
Yeah.
scale. And I'm like, okay, 50-50, all need to be equal. Am I good at faith, family, fitness? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, too much. Like, I am a recovering people pleaser and
Mm,
perfectionist. And so, like, striving is just kind of in my blood, and I need to use it for my good, not let it be to my detriment. And so I just accept that I'm not going to be great at everything. I'm just like, okay, so for example, I'm like, okay, this is a season where I want to be an exceptional leader to my team. I want to be an exceptional mother. I've waited so long to be a mom, and I'm so excited to have a 2-year-old, and we would love to have more. And I am not going to be a great friend right now. I'm not going to be able to make all the things or text you back. And it's not because I don't like you, friend. I love you, but I have limited resources and limited
yes.
time. And if I'm being good to everyone and involved in my community and all the things, then I'm doing everything kind of half-assed. And I'd
Yeah.
rather be exceptional at a few things and then not at others. And it is hard. Like, I don't want anyone to hear this wrong, because it is nuanced, right? So like, my fitness game is not on 10. And I'm not saying, oh, don't take care of yourself, work 80 hours. Like, yes, you need to take care of yourself, because you come first. If you if you crumble, you can't, be helpful to anybody. But like, would I love to work out 3 or 4 times a week for an hour just because like the mental reset and all the things? Like, yes. I'm not, no, I don't have that bandwidth. Like, same with cooking. Like, my mom is a wonderful cook, Brazilian, like all the homemade things, can wing it without a recipe and it's delicious. And I'm not tapping into that right now. I don't have time. For the last 4 years, we have used a meal plan that just gets delivered to our house. I heat it up on the stove, salt, pepper, done, 5 minutes.
Love it.
Because like,
Easy,
I'm not in that season of life. So like, find the things that are really important to you, go all in on that, forget the rest. And then it doesn't mean you're going to never cook a homemade meal or ever work out or ever see your friends. There's seasons, there's seasons. And so I think you also just need to be like really true to yourself, and knowing like what you need, what your family needs from you, and honor that. Because if you're trying to follow someone else's formula or playbook, like, it's just a recipe, for failure. Like, it's going to look different for everyone. And I battle that, because what our life looks like might look very, very different to others, and they might judge us or whatever. But like you mentioned the trip. So like, last week was awesome and crazy. We spoke at back-to-back events. We were at the glamping show in Denver, and then Tulum for this mastermind retreat. And I was like, well, I don't want to be away from my baby that whole time. So she came along with a sitter for the first half in Denver, and we were all there as a family. And then bringing her to Mexico felt a little sketchy. So I was like, we're going to leave her. You're going to go back home. And so then we had, some time without her, and like, just balancing both. But there's no like hard rules of how many days we're away from her, when we bring her, when we can bring her, like, we'll do it. But we also know, like, sometimes we can't, but she's surrounded by loving people who care for her and are, invested in her, my parents, her nanny. And like, that's a beautiful thing, because I'm not like leaving her to just go party. Like, I'm doing the work for our business, for her future, and to model that. I think like a lot of moms that I talk to who are working moms, they kind of feel this guilt. They're like, man, why am I working? I could just pay somebody else and be with my kid. I'm like, if you want to do that, do that. But also, like, you working, you're living a wonderful example for your kids, to show them what hard looks like, what hard work looks like. I don't get me on a soapbox here. Stop, like, cut me off. But like, I think we're getting softer and softer with each year that passes and each generation, because we're, maybe well-intended parents are trying to help us avoid pain or avoid disappointment, when these are things that are really important for your development. I've heard it said, like, easy childhood, hard adulthood, hard childhood, easy adulthood. And so I'm trying to raise good adults, because they're going to be an adult way longer than their kids. And so I just feel like, again, listen to you and what's right for you and your family. But I don't think there is a wrong answer. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, if you want to be a working mom, I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like, but I'm giving myself grace, knowing that it can change in each season and when necessary.
Yeah. I'm good on your soapbox. I'm like locked in. I'm like locked, because it's very true. Like, there's only so many self-help books, or there's only so many gurus that can tell you, but like, truly, like, you are the only person that can dictate what works for you and your family. There's no right, there's no wrong, because if you try to mimic someone else's balance or whatever it looks like, you're not going to be able to keep up, because it wasn't meant for your life. It wasn't meant for you. So I think that's so important. Okay, last question I have for you. I could literally talk to you for hours, because I'm like, oh my God, you mentor me. Marketing. Let's talk about marketing, because I know, like, you came in like hard. I was like, oh shit, wait, what did she say? Can you like start over? Can you repeat that? Let's talk about marketing and like how it's truly changed the game for you, Bolt Farms, everything that you do. And like, what is one, I know we don't have time for all of it, but like, what is like one thing that you would tell people? Like, my community is really big on like organic social media and really building that muscle of consistency and like trust and all that. What's one piece of advice that you would give them when it comes to marketing your business and the importance of it?
Oof. It is everything. It is absolutely everything. You could build the coolest thing in the world, but if you do not talk about it, if you do not shout it from the rooftops, nobody will come. nobody will buy it. If they build it, they will. If you build it, they will come. BS. Like, you have to tell people about it over and over and over again. I just heard a stat that shocked me, and it was, on average, people are consuming 600 to 1,200 pieces of content per day. We're just swiping, like, we're inundated. And so if you are not part of that, like, if you're not in the game, nobody knows you exist. It is the currency of attention, like, is what we're fighting for. And so I love marketing. I like I didn't study it in school. I just figured it out, and it lights me up. It's like, how do I know I have this awesome thing. I know I can help people. How do I make people aware of this? How do we talk about it?
Yeah.
And so it's absolutely huge. I think even if you feel like, oh, I'm not a marketer, like, I would recommend, like, never just taking your hands fully off the wheel, because it's your business.
Yes.
Like, and it's your brand. So even if you do have outside help, because we've done that, like with our social, we've had, like, in the early days, I ran it all. I'm posting every little thing. Then we brought someone in on the team. Then we worked with an outside agency. Then we did it, and so, but I never took my hands off the gas. Like, if you just say, oh, I'm totally delegating and, like, leaving this to somebody else, you're leaving your business's fate in someone else's hands. And I think the ones who win are the ones who act like winning matters. Like, they obsess over it. You inspect what you inspect what you expect. And so I think marketing is huge for hospitality. That's the industry we're in. I can kind of speak to that the most, but I think, like, Instagram is, or if it's not currently today, will soon become the number one place that people book travel, because Airbnb is now just, like, looking for the best price. It's hard to get discovered. The OTAs, it's a race to the bottom. Instagram is where you're, like, dreaming of that vacation. It's very aspirational, and, like, it's the new Google as well. Like, I think Instagram's the new Google. Is where people are looking for travel inspiration. And so, like, if we did not lean on that, and we were just like, oh, I'll list on Airbnb, I'll list on booking.com, whatever, then it's a race to the bottom. People are just looking for the best price. But if you can create a brand, and tell a story, and create a movement, and turn lookers into bookers, into followers, into believers, into advocates who will help spread the word for you, like, then you create something really meaningful. Then you create a movement. We now have, this is insane to me, 675,000 followers on Instagram. And I remember posting it, like, when we had 50, and it's just like, the momentum it can build is really, really meaningful. So I don't know. I still see businesses do it wrong, in, like, a very old school approach, where they're looking at Instagram as, like, it's your, like, billboard of, like, a flash sale or campaign, and there's text and you're yelling at people. It's like, this is for community. Like, how would you talk to your friends? Add value, bring them in, ask questions, then share what you have to offer, but try to make it personal. Like, just make it personal. Talk to people. What do they care about? And I feel like, and it's so easy. I love our business. It's so easy to market, like, these dreamy getaways, because if people would tune out if we were just like, come visit, flash it. It's like, no, but we're like, hey, like, tell me about your best trip ever. Do you like the mountain or the beach? Do you like summer or fall? Like, you're bringing people into it. And I mentioned this earlier, but people follow people, not just businesses. So, like, I think being present and showing up on your business's page is absolutely critical. If you're, like, very shy and scared about that, like, just start in your stories, and you'll probably suck at first. That's okay, because no one's watching you. And and quantity leads to quality. Like, as you do more, if you post for 100 days straight, like, that will happen. There's a guy in our mastermind who was like, that sounds terrifying. I'm never been on camera. Like, do it anyways. And flash forward, within 4 months, he tripled his Instagram following and doubled his email list. I'm like, that was scary, but was it worth it? He's like, yeah. Like, so, gosh, I don't know. I feel like I'm missing a specific question you asked about marketing. Oh, the one thing.
Just one piece of tip that you would give them.
Oh, man.
I feel like you just gave them, like, a million.
I know.
You're like, okay, you can, like, get on your stories for 100 days straight. You're going to build confidence. Like, nobody's really watching you yet. So why don't you just get on and do it? The biggest hiccup, literally, with our clients or with anybody in general that comes in and, like, talks to me is like, Shelby, I'm so scared. I'm going to sound dumb. I'm going to stutter. No, everybody's going to think I'm inexperienced. There's someone that's out there better than me. Okay, it might all be true, but, like, the only way you get better is if you actually do it. Like, if you're not going to die trying, like, literally, if the worst case scenario is not something bad happening to you, and it's just like, you look silly or you stutter or someone, like, says, what are you even doing? Like, then do it anyway. Like, it's so crazy to me.
Yeah, because the person who's going to be mean that's fine. Like, not everyone has to like you. They're probably not your ideal customer, right?
No.
So, like, are you trying to get Karen to buy? Like, no, like, let her have her opinions. You know what I mean? So, and honestly, I feel like, kind of back to people are sick of the polish, they want authenticity. I think we're at a time where people want people to have an opinion and a spine. And
Yes.
I'm not saying like being like
Yes.
obnoxiously opinionated or like crazy. I'm just saying like stand for something, know who you are. Because if
Yes.
not, then you're just like everybody else and you're spineless. So like I think if you have some haters, it's a good thing. It means that either, you're standing for something or you're big enough that people are listening,
Yeah.
and a quick example, it's a little bit kind of a little bit of a sidestep, but
It's okay.
we're a romantic destination for couples. This was
Right.
birthed from our honeymoon for couples, all the things.
Yeah.
Years ago, we wanted to kind of be everything to everyone. And so we had a couple family friendly units. We let people bring their dogs. Like it was like, come and stay, anybody. And that went horrible. It was really not great. It diluted the brand. It made the marketing confusing. Like, how do you have one post about romantic getaways and then the other, like, bring the kids, and how do you serve both of those people well? And
Yeah.
so, even though it was sad and kind of operationally tricky to say, like, okay, let's wind that back. Like, sorry, families, like, love y'all, but like, we're not the place for you. Here's
Yeah.
your recommendations. That was actually the best thing for our business. And when I think our following exploded, when everything just got easier, like know who you serve, speak to them, speak clearly to them. Don't try to be all things to all people. Know who you are, and you don't have to please everyone. You shouldn't.
Whoa, okay, that's a wrap because she just killed like guys, also I didn't pay her to say any of this because I truly listened to her speak. I had no idea who she was, quite literally. Embarrassing moment. But it's fine. And it was just
No
better
one
because
knows who you are. No one knows who anyone is.
but
It's
I was
fine.
literally she has 600,000 followers and they're like known. And then she puts up y'all put up y'all's like preview or whatever Heather did for y'all. And I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like I was like, hey, your romper's cute, like whatever. But you are such a wealth of knowledge. I was like, I have to actually get her on the podcast because like you give so many nuggets. Even when you're like, I don't feel like answer your question. I'm like, you just answered that question and beyond. So thank you so much. I have construction at my house, so I'm really hoping no one can hear this, but whatever. I feel like you live in the world of construction, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. Y'all, we're going to put everything in the show notes. Can you just tell them real quickly where they can find you, how they can book, all the things?
Yeah. So we're Bolt Farm Treehouse. It's on Instagram. That's our website, boltfarmtreehouse.com. And if you want to follow me personally, it's Tori Bolt.
Perfect. Guys, if you like this episode, please like, comment, share. We're going to put everything in the show notes. And until next time, let's freaking get it.